Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bellarmine Basketball here on YouTube. This is BCB Sports Live, and we're coming from the 14th annual DJ Frandsen tournament, where your Bellarmine Bells will be going off against the Granite Bay Grizzlies. Right now, we have the starting lineups being announced for the Grizzlies. We have Jack Milne, Doug Christie, Jacob Ellis, Adam Honer, and Josh Zand. And for your Bells, Quinn Denker, Cole Troutson, Kyle Lewis, Kieran Cruz, and Constantine Cole. And for Bellarmine, this is going to be the start of a new era. This team, last year had Kendall Stubblefield, had Jake Wojcik, had a lot of good players that have left. It's a new era now for the Bells, and we'll see how they respond going against a team they beat in last year's DJ Frandsen finals. Tips about to get underway. It is Cole versus Christie. And we are about to get started. And the ball is given to Granite Bay with Jack Milne having the guard. He's a sophomore, 6 foot. Now off to Jacob Ellis. He's at center court, as you can see. Passing over to Zand. Zand driving in. Denker on him. Nice by Coatson. Doesn't work out. Now Cole on defense. Good interior pass. And there is Ellis for easy 2. Bellarmine Bell right now. Kieran Cruz has the ball. Up, he's calling for a screen, but he passes over to Quinn Denker. Denker up top, heavily pressured, loses the ball, comes back. Now he has an advantage. Troutson in the baseline, double team, nowhere to go, loses the ball. That's a turnover for Cole Troutson. I had the opportunity to talk to Coach Cideron over this week, and he told me that he feels like the best way to beat this Bellarmine team is to match their physicality. Williams with the steal off a bad pass. Williams looking, probing. Cruz right down the lane, and Cruz with the easy 2. Score tied 2-2. Looks like it's Zand bringing the ball up, passing it over to Christie. Christie double team. Over to Zand. Zand dribbling in and out, nowhere. Christie 3 way off. Troutson with the rebound. Troutson dribbling it up the court. Troutson passes over to Cruz. Cruz over to Williams. Williams over to Denker. Cole trying to looks like the play doesn't work out, and it's going to be Denker. Denker passes it over to Troutson. Denker over to the wing. Nice pullback and just off, but nice move by Quinn Denker there. Ball comes back to Milne. Again, he's a sophomore, the only sophomore on this Granite Bay team, and he's their starting point guard. Ellis dribbling. Ellis trying to find a way to go. Can't find anything. Gets a screen over there. Quick trap. Good hustle by Kieran Cruz. Knocks that out of bounds. And the Granite ball will be inbounding it. Zand over there. Zand on the inbound. This Bellarmine team filled with young players. 3 of their 5 starters are juniors. Honer over to Zand. Zand for 3. Misses. And Troutson pulls away the rebound and then gets bumped. Quick foul there on Jack Milne. So, as I mentioned, these Bells, this iteration of the Bells, did manage to beat Granite Bay last year in the DJ Frandsen finals. They will be playing in the semifinals of what is just a 2-game tournament for each team. Denker misses the 3. There's Christie with the board. Passes over to Milne. Both teams scuffling a little bit on offense, not getting much of a rhythm. Milne probing, can't find anything. The Bells are switching everything on defense. Interesting to see. Honer trying to drive in. Honer, there's Zane. Zane misses again, and Williams. The Bells almost lost it, but now Denker has it. Denker's bringing it up. Denker trying to. Colson with Cole Troutson with the ball to Denker. They're trying to hit Constantine Cole on the block. Can't get it. Troutson now near wing. Troutson tries to drive in, can't get anything. Cruz with a deep 3. And it's pure. Kieran Cruz, all the 5 points for the Bells right now, and he is the star of this team. He is the star. Was a starter last year, is a starter this year. Here's Zan. Sent over to Honer. Honer turned around, and that was way off. Chilson pushing it up, trying to look for something. Can't find anything. Denker. Denker has Zand. Troutson pull up Jay, and it rattles in. 7-2 score for your Bells right now. Bellarmine pressing up. Zand with the ball. Zand. There's 10 seconds left. The trap doesn't work, and now there's an advantage. Nice pass, and the bucket is good by Honer. And Coach Sidra decides to call a timeout, a 30-second timeout after that. And with this pause into action, we have a second now to take a look at this Bellarmine roster with a lot of juniors. Not mistaken, as I said, 3 of the 5 starters are juniors, not to mention some of their key bench players. And while we also have this moment, we'd like to give a quick shout out. First off to our athletic director, Mike Sullivan, who's giving us the opportunity to broadcast these games. I want to give a shout out to our cameraman, Lucas Owens, and our scoreboard man, Carlos Jimenez, who are doing the dirty work behind making sure you have an enjoyable experience. I want to give a shout out to the Bellarmine manager, Marcus Ponce, who's up here with us now recording film for the team. There's a lot of work that goes behind getting these done and making sure a team runs smoothly, and everyone should understand that. Denker passes over to Cruz. Cruz tip pass over to Williams, and Denker now has the ball up at near half court, dribbling around, passing it over to Cole. Screened by Cruz for Denker. Over to Williams. Williams probing. Sasso has checked in. Gio Sasso. Denker stripes a 3. 10-4. And then there is Christie sprinting ahead. And they're going to call a foul on Kyle Williams with the body bump there. Bellarmine is trying to go for some full court pressure, but you know, Granite Bay is doing a good job of sprinting past them and, you know, taking advantage of this. They have got good looks. Just need to convert it. Christie in the line. And he makes the first free throw. Doug Christie, a senior, 6'1", plays guard, but jumped up for the ball against Constantine Cole and won. And, you know, that's the thing with this entire Granite Bay team. They are all relatively the same size. Really positionless basketball at its best. Christie makes both free throws, and he now subs out for Justin Mazzola, 5'9". He will be the shortest player on the court right now. Here's Denker. Granite Bay also with a little bit of pressure. Cole over to Sasso. Sasso lines up a 3. A little strong off the line. Cole couldn't get the rebound. Mazzola has it now. Bellarmine still with the press. Denker relentless against Mazzola. You know, he has a size advantage here. They switch off, and now there's Ellis, who tried to go on him. Honer going against Cole. And Honer with the travel. Tried to pass it off when he got in there, but couldn't find anyone. And dragged that pivot foot. A call that you know is very hard to take a look at, but usually doesn't get called. The pivot foot thing, pretty annoying for most coaches, but it got called there. Constantine Cole gets subbed out for Ian Elam, another junior. We're talking about the youth on this Bellarmine varsity team. Cruz bringing the ball up court over to Elam. Elam in the paint, goes up strong, and he's short with that. Honer with the rebound over to Milne. Milne dribbling it up. Calling out a play. Honer comes in up to the top of the point line, tries to dribble in and pass it over to Mazzola. Mazzola goes back over to Zand, and it's a beautiful play design for just checking in Brian Lambie, who gets the easy 2 off a great screen there, and a great play by Granite Bay. 10-8, your Bells are up. Cruz pulls up for another 3, in and out. Elam tries to get the rebound, but can't. Good box up by Honer. He'll pass it over to Mill, and we'll do it again. Mill calling another play. Screen by Honer. Bellarmine showing on the screen. Back over to Honer. Honer over to Lambie. Lambie double team and a trap by Bellarmine. Williams tries to get it. Cannot. Honer takes a 3. Looks like he has the green light to shoot. Cruz with the ball. Cruz gets blocked by Honer, and Lambios push it up 1-on-2. Odd man advantage, but splits the Bellarmine defense. Elam and Denker got caught on one side, and it's a tie ball game with 1:45 left to go in this game, 10-10. Denker with the ball. Denker pulling it up, trying to look for someone to pass to. Gets over to Cruz at the three-point line. Back over to Denker. Denker in the post. Body bumping in, and you know, this is going to be an advantage the Bells have. Denker looks here a good 4 inches taller than Mazzola. Clearly looks stronger. But Zand over there, Mazzola drives in, and he misses with, and Sasso with the rebound. Good defense by Elam there. Elam sprinting down the court. Early rim run can't get it. Williams wide open in the corner. Hits down that three. Pure stroke by Kyle Williams. 15-10 Bellarmine, less than a minute to go. They fast break off the made shot, does Granite Bay. It gives Honer an easy layup off the Millen assist. That's unacceptable. You can't let that happen if you're Bellarmine. Cruz gets the screen, decides to go away from it. Nice finger roll layup by Kieran Cruz. Great deception there, going away from the screen, draws the defender the other way. Gets right to the cup for two. Kieran Cruz doing big things in the beginning of this game. Final shot running down for Granite Bay. 17-12, Bellarmine is up. Milne dribbling it, killing out time. Passes it over to Zand. Zand with less than 10 seconds. 8 seconds now. Milne trying to look for someone. Zand, less than 4. 3, 2, 1. Pulls up and misses. Mazzola tried to get the rebound but couldn't. And that is the end of the first quarter. Your Bellarmine Bells are up 17-12. We'll be right back the second quarter after a quick break. You're listening to BCP Sports Live on YouTube. With the second quarter about to get underway, a quick correction I would like to make. 24 for Bellarmine is Kyle Lewis, not Kyle Williams. Number 22 for Bellarmine, who has not come into the game yet, Jackson Williams. So Kyle Lewis is starting for the Bells. 17-12 as the second quarter is about to get underway. Large substitution coming in. Ridley Ruth is coming in, as well as Ryan Trodson, along with his presumed relative, Cole Trodson. Elam there as well. And Cole comes back in. Trodson looks like he'll be playing the point. Cole Trodson, that is. Cole passes it over to Ruth. Ruth passing over to Elam. Elam lines up a three. Way off. Constantine Cole with the rebound. Can't get anything to go. And Jacob Ellis passes over to Mazzola. Mazzola working on Cole Trodson. Passes it over to Ellis, who passed it over to Lambie. Ryan Trodson tries to get the reach, can't get it, but Elam with the rebound. Cole Trodson pushing. Cole with the pull-up. Pull-up floater is pure by Cole Trodson. And Bellarmine is now up 19-12. Mazzola bringing the ball up. And one thing Coach Citroen told me is that he wants his team to control the tempo, to more importantly limit the Bellarmine runs. Right now, Bellarmine is going on a prolonged run. They might blow this game wide open. Here's Christie working on Cole. Cole jumps up, an inadvertent push, and Christie with the bump and Ruth gets it to go. Christie hustled all the way back, bumped him, didn't foul him hard enough, allows Ruth to hit the shot, and one opportunity for the Bells and a chance to push this lead to double digits. And right now, if Granite Bay wants this game to be a fast-paced, up-and-down game, then they're doing great. But it seems like Bellarmine is thriving in that. Coach Citra needs to see if he wants to pull his players back and trying to go to a half-court set, grind out possessions, and try to take advantage of this Bellarmine defense, which is swarming. Over there, it is Ellis who misses. Cole with the rebound. Cole Troutson. Over to Ryan Troutson, all the way across to Ruth. Ruth drives in, and he gets erased by Jacob Ellis. Passes over to Zan, back to Ellis, back to Zan. Beautiful ball movement. And 2 points for Zan for Granite Bay. Here is Ryan Troutson. Ryan Troutson passes it to Elam, gets it back. Bad pass. Cole had no chance unless he dived on the floor. And Mazzola will bring it up. Mazzola working on Ruth. Mazzola kicks it back out to Zahn. Zahn passes it over to Preston Few. Back over to Zahn. He's short on that three. And Ruth with the rebound. Elam sprinting down, tries to get a steal. Has the shorted Mazzola on him. But they're not going to get anything out of it. Troutson drives in. Thought he got bumped. But he makes the layup anyway. And Coach Sidderin calls another timeout. The score is 24-14. Bellarmine up by 10. 5:32 left to go in the second quarter. And talking to assistant coach Duncan before the game, I had a chance to ask him some questions about, the season as a general and how Bellarmine would be able to do. And I talked to him about, Bellarmine last year had Jake Wojcik, arguably one of the best players the team has ever had, and Kendall Stubblefield. And Coach Duncan told me it's hard to replace these players, but he thinks they have a solid team. He really likes the depth on this team. He really likes how lanky and how big they are, as we can see with their harassing full court pressure. And he thinks solid teamwork is going to be what pushes this team to the top. But as you know, making shots is more important, and Bellarmine has been doing that with ease tonight, getting whatever they want, striping threes if they need to. Danker checks back in. Bellarmine still pressing full court. Honer over to Milne, and Milne will reset and try to get a play going. Milne sends Ellis over, but he passes over to Zand. Zand has been very aggressive. Honer cocks it back. Literally, that's how he shoots it, but misses. Denker with the ball. Denker pulling it up. Denker over to Cruz. Cruz over to Ryan Troutson, the only Troutson on the court right now. Denker over to Cole. Cruz gets a screen from Cole. Good pressure there by Ellis. Forces Denker to have to work on Fu. Denker passes over to Ryan Troutson. Back over to Denker. Denker, 9 seconds left to go on the shot clock. And Preston Few gets called for the reach-in. Beautiful defense by Granite Bay until that reach-in, which resets the shot clock. And Kyle Lewis checks back in as well as Gio Sasso for Ridley Ruth and Ryan Troutson. Denker with the ball. Denker up near half court. Passes over to Sasso. Sasso back over to Denker. Cruz. Cruz will pull it. Gets fouled. Got hit on the wrist by Jacob Ellis. He doesn't like the call, but Cruz will go to the line to shoot three. And Kieran Cruz, listed here at 6'4", 185 pounds. He's been playing off the ball here a lot, not really attacking as much as taking advantage of catch and shoot opportunities. And when you have Denker, when you have Lewis, when you have Sasso on the court, it adds another dimension for this Bellarmine team to allow their best player to essentially be like Klay Thompson. Cruz makes a second free throw, and Fu thought that was only for 2, so he went to box out. But Cruz has a chance to get 3 free throws. He checks out of the game. Coming in is Matt Soren, 6-foot junior. Cruz nails that free throw. 3 more points for Kieran Cruz. And now back to the full pressure. Kyle Lewis. Lewis, great defense by him and Sasso. Cruz driving in. Nice pass, but he gets erased again by Ellis. Jacob Ellis has had 2 outstanding blocks in the second quarter. Running out of bounds play, doesn't get anything, so they go to Sasso. Cruz in the post. Cruz loses the ball, passes it over to Denker. Denker over to Lewis, and Lewis gets called for the travel. And this is something we see a lot in all forms of basketball, not just high school, not just AAA, but college, the pros. People always moving 2 steps before they dribble to try to get a defender off guard. And I think Jim Barnett said, it's just not worth it. There isn't much you get out of it. But it's a habit most people have, and it's hard to get rid of. Swarming defense. Denker pushes it up, and it hits the shot. 29-14. Your Bells are more than double Granite Bay's score. This defense has been ferocious. Zan with the ball. Zan tries to go behind the back. And they call Lewis for a foul. Ticky-tack foul. I think the problem here for the ref was just that, you know, it was going to be a over and back call if he didn't call a foul. And he thought that the pressure by Lewis caused it, so decided to absolve Zand. Not sure I agree with the call, but they'll play on. Zand now going against Cruz. Zand has been the most aggressive of the Granite Bay players. And Honer with a nice scoop layup with the post drive off Constantine Cole. Tremendous work there. Bellarmine up 13 now. Around 3 minutes left to go. Beautiful pass by Denker. Cross court. Sasso over to Denker over to Lewis. And Denker gets the ball back with the top. They're trying to get it into Cole. Denker trying to find something to do. 15 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Now at 10, Sasso. This has not been a good possession by the Bells. Over to Lewis. Lewis to Cruz. How did Kieran Cruz get wide open? And there's an offensive rebound by Gio Sasso. Great defense for around 30 seconds by Granite Bay. But they allowed Cruz to get open, and then they allowed Sasso with the rebound. Bellarmine full court pressure doesn't work here. It's Honer with the easy layup. And that's the risk you come with doing a full court press. For what you get in turnovers, you lose. And that was a bad pass there. And it's going to be Ellis with the 2. Bad pass by Cruz there. And Cruz brings the ball up, passes over to Denker. Just around 2 minutes left to go in this game. Bellarmine up 11. Passing it over to Lewis. Lewis driving in. And look at those long strides of Lewis. Lanky arms gliding into the paint and getting the layup. Beautiful work there by Kyle Lewis. Zan guarded by Lewis. Now it passes over to Soren. Soren hits the deck. No call. Granite Bay still has the ball. Over to Christie. Christie way short on that 3. Sasso passes over to Cruz. Cruz, nice move. Nice wall off by Constantine Cole to get Cruz that layup. Bellarmine is operating very well right now. Very well indeed. Now Milne splits the thing and manages to pass it over for Honer. Honer's gotten a lot of easy layups off that, but that was a great move by Milne. Splitting the double team and the trap, creating a 2-on-1. Here's Cruz. Cruz over to Sasso. Sasso over to Denker on the near side. Denker trying to pass it over to Cole. Cole in the inside. Constantine misses. Lewis with the offensive rebound. Lewis too strong. And passes it over to Milne, who will bring it up. Less than a minute to go in this first half. Milne looking. Milne continues to look. Milne jumps it back out of the three-point line. And he loses the ball on his dribble. And that will allow Kanan and Doug Christie, Omar Kanan and Doug Christie check in with less than a minute to go. Bellarmine is up 13. What has been a good offensive showing for them. Now here's Denker. Denker with the ball, pulls it back, half-court line almost, near the logo. Pass it over to Sasso near side. Sasso gets a screen by Cole. Back over to Denker. Denker wide open for three. And just strong off the rim. Final shot now for Jack Millen and Granite Bay, should everything go well. Running a play. Just around 10 seconds left. And it's going to be Christie with the ball. Christie, 6 seconds, 5, pulls up, mid-range, rattles out, and it's Cruz with the rebound. Ball's on the floor, and we end the first half with a scrum for the ball. Good defense by Bellarmine. They lead 35-22. We'll be back in around 8 minutes or so to recap the first half and get you ready for the second half. You've been listening to Bellarmine's Varsity Basketball on BCP Sports Live on YouTube. That might cause a problem. That does not help the stream. Hello everyone and welcome. We have 40 seconds left to go before the start of the third quarter and second half of Bellarmine basketball. We're going to be going over the leading scorers quickly for the Bells with Mr. Kieran Cruz, 14 points. For Granite Bay, it is Adam Honer with 8. And Zan looks to pass it over. He's going to give it into Millen as we get started with the third quarter. And right out of the gates, it is Christie missing a 3. Denker pulls it up. Let's see what the Bells can do in the second half. Kind of leaky in the paint in the first half on defense. Offensively, they've done as well as you can imagine. Cole gets it inside. Cole with the grown man move, bumping aside players as he gets in for 2. Bellarmine going back to this full court press. I don't understand why they're doing this so much. It hasn't been helping them. They've given up far too many open shots, but Christie misses then, and Cruz is pulling it up. Over to Cole. Cole with an and one. Beautiful play by Cruz, getting it over to Constantine Cole, who's making an impact just around a minute gone in this third quarter. 7:12 left to go. Cole to the line. Let's see how well he can shoot free throws. Last time we were at this tournament, I went on a mini rant about how people were missing free throws constantly. Didn't happen here. Constantine Cole hits the free throw. Now it's over to Millen, guarded by Denker. More full court press. Hits it right off Lewis. Lewis with the nice pass over to Denker with the easy layup. 7 straight points by Bellarmine, bumping this lead up to 20 points, causing Coach Sutter to call a timeout. And with this break into action, we would like to give a quick shout out to Miss Saglin Benny, who sends out the athletic info for all our teams to all our students so people know where to be for these games. Again, lots that goes into making basketball, football, all these things happen, and it's important everyone gets their due. Given how we're still in the middle of action, we should be ending this timeout pretty soon. With Bellarmine up 20, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. Coach Schneider has not been shy about his full court presser. He is forcing Granite Bay to run. Whether they like to or not, I'm not entirely sure if this is what Granite Bay wants, but this is what they're forced to do. So, timeout's over. Lambius checked in, passes over to Milne, who has not scored but has made an impact on this game. With the Christie, and great defense by Lewis. Kyle Lewis has been everywhere. It's like he's mad at me for messing up his name. Wants to make sure I remember who he is. A beautiful move by Lewis. My God, this guy is playing out of his mind. Lewis has been incredible on defense and has been so silky smooth on offense. Beautiful pass by Lambie over to Christie. Drains that three. And the ref has called an official's timeout as he's going to wipe up the sweat that comes in. This is in the big leagues, folk. You know, referees have to put in their work too. Sometimes players do it, sometimes fans do it. Everyone tries to chip in here for high school basketball. Cruz with the ball. And Granite Bay going with a soft press. Not really aggressive as to not allow any breakaways, but at the same time, trying to disrupt the flow. Quinn Denker pushes in, and nice floater there. Denker is taking control at the point guard spot. He's been assertive, and that's what you like to see. Beautiful pass there by Milne. Knew that Lewis was trying to jump and intercept and hit the bounce pass over there. Now Milne has it back, passes over to Honer. Granite Bay in the half court. Lewis denying the ball to Mazzola. Honer still looking around, gets it over to Milne. Milne tried to take Lewis off the dribble. Mazzola now has the ball. Near side dribble handoff over to Ellis, over to Honer. And Honer travels, I believe. Entirely sure. And with Bellarmine up 21, it's a full team substitution. Checking in, Josiah Ajake, Cole Trotson, Jackson Williams, sophomore Ryan Kitchen, and Scott Nelson. Here's Ajake with the ball. Ajake over to Williams. Williams over to Trotson. Trotson trying to get Nelson the ball. Instead gets it to Kitchen. Ajake over to Nelson. Nice ball movement by Bellarmine. Beautiful post-to-post passing. 5:15 left to go. A three-point play opportunity for the sophomore, Ryan Kitchen. 6'8", this sophomore is the tallest player on either team. You know, he's on varsity as a sophomore. Misses the free throw there. Nice hustle by Nelson, doesn't work. Milne dribbling up the court. Milne gets pressure, put into a corner. Mazzola over to Honer. Backward to Mazzola. Over to Ellis. Ellis gets it over to Mazzola. Mazzola kicks it out. Here is Ellis. Ellis over to Lambie. Over to Milne. Milne over to Honer. Back over to Lambie. Lambie after Mazzola. Mazzola looking, checking. Great defense by Bellarmine. And they get the steal. Trotson. And Trotson nearly loses the ball. Great defense by Lambie and even better hustle there. But that was phenomenal defense by Bellarmine. Absolutely voracious on their attack. Making sure no one got the opportunities. And in the third quarter, there has only been a three by Doug Christie. Bellarmine has locking down and showing that this full court pressure can work. Trotson thinks about the three, doesn't hit it. Back over to Williams, back over to Trotson. Trotson looks again to Nelson. Nelson over to Ajake. Ajake drives in. Ajake far baseline over to Williams. Williams wide open. And we're going to call that an assist. Beautiful alley-oop by Jackson Williams there. Or just Scott Nelson. Perfectly placed, almost as if he wanted to just shoot it right over the hoop. Granite Bay now on offense. Lambie pulls it. He's at the logo. Trying to get anything over to Fu. Fu over to Mazzola. Mazzola has been beat up by this tall and strong Bellarmine defense. To Lambie. Lambie jammed by Wilson. Now they switch over to Trotson. Milne guarded by Williams now. Milne behind the back. Can't get anything. Honer with the pump fake. And that was a nice pump fake. Nothing comes out of it. Nelson with the board. Nelson over to Trotson. Trotson over to Ajake. Ajake open for three. And he buries it. Bellarmine is pouring it down on Granite Bay. Coach Sidran didn't want his team to have to deal with Bellarmine runs. Wanted to control this game. And it's not working. Bellarmine up 28 points with 3:27 left to go in this game. We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back to Bellarmine basketball. 3:27 left to go. Bells are up 28. And one thing we've noticed about this Bellarmine team, they are playing as a unit exactly as Coach Duncan wanted. So Coach Duncan had told us earlier before the game, this team would play well if all 5 of them put together an effort. They have done that. Christie over to Lamprey, over to Honer. Honer near the high post, over to Mazzola. Mazzola, quick move, tries to get the floater, misses. Nice rebound by Kitchen. That's what a 6'8" center is supposed to do. Good trap over there by Fu. Over to Kitchen. Williams tries to get in, can't get it to go. Christie trying to one-man break it. Hits it way too strong, misses badly. But nice to serve this by Doug Christie. Cole Charlton brings the ball up. 2:45 left to go in this third quarter. Over to Williams. They're trying to get Kitchen. Kitchen gets a screen for Ajike. They're going to... And bad pass by Ajike. Tried to get it in to Kitchen. The sophomore already completing a three-point play. But that won't work, and Bellarmine turns it over. Preston Fu will inbound it to Mazzola. Mazzola brings it up. The shortest man on the court right now. Mazzola over to Christie. Dribble handoff. Goes over. They have open people. Honer pulls it up. Honer guarded by Trilson. Mazzola for 3. Nice shot by Mazzola, but bad defense by Bellarmine. Mazzola and Honer had a 2-on-1 on the far wing the entire time. Kitchen trying to get a post up on Honer. That's the screen. Williams over there. Williams, and he gets bumped by Mazzola in his space. And that's what caused the foul. And it's a group substitution for Bellarmine. Denker, Elam, Cruz, Williams, and Nick Grassman. 5'7", although that might be a little kind of an estimation. Playing Denker. Denker passing over to Elam. No look pass. Elam, beautiful pump fake. Gets Soren jumping over him. And Bellarmine 55-28. Denker with the full court press. Now he's on Christie. Christie dribbles near side. Passes it over to Mazzola. Bellarmine, great defense here. But they allow another player to get inside for an easy 2. Cruz fouls Soren. And that's going to be an and 1 opportunity. 3 points the hard way, as they like to say. And this is the one issue you've had with Bellarmine. One, they've been able to limit Granite Bay to the half court. They've been phenomenal. But when Granite Bay is allowed to pressure on against this full court press, they've been like almost like a cut that can't be clotted. They've been bleeding out points. Denker passes it over to Cruz. Let's see if Cruz wants to redeem himself. He does. Pulls up into a 3. Misses. Kieran Cruz has not scored in this quarter, I do believe. But his team is winning, and Bellarmine is up 24 for that matter. Lewis guarding hard on Kanan. Over to Mazzola. Mazzola working on Cruz. Cruz has an obvious size advantage here, but let's see if Mazzola can be with quickness. Pass it over to Kanan. Kanan back over to Mazzola. Mazzola, there's a switch. Grassman, the one player who Mazzola is probably on par, if not a little taller than. Now here's Grassman. Over to Cruz. Cruz over to Denker. Denker looking around. Looks like he wants to get to Lewis. Instead, they're trying to get Grassman points, which they like. Denker hesitation. Driving in, gets bumped. And then gets going to the line. Little frustrated with his teammates. Tried to call a play and they weren't doing it, and that's what you like to see. That's good leadership. Demand perfection. That's what you want from players. Even if you get 2 points, that doesn't mean that's what you wanted to happen. And great job there by Denker. Bellarmine not even lining up, and Denker misses the free throw. Sasso checks in for Grassman. 36.1 left to go in this game. Bellarmine up 22. Bell going with more of like a 1 guard, 4 forward lineup here. Everyone except Denker arguably the same size here. We'll see what it does for Bellarmine. Honer is not in the game, and Honer seems to be the one who could take advantage of that. The press almost works but doesn't, and now Fu has the ball. Fu passes over to Mazzola. Mazzola guarded by Denker now. Mazzola drives left onto Denker. Kanan with the ball. Kanan guarding Denker. Passes over to Christie, guarded tightly by Cruz. Cruz pushing up on Christie. Two to pushing up. Good screen there by Fu, and Christie hits the 3. 3, 2, 1. Denker hits it at the buzzer. What a shot! Absolutely incredible. That negates what Doug Christie did. And this will be your score heading into the fourth quarter. 59-36 for Bellarmine. We'll be back after a quick break. You're listening to Bellarmine Basketball on BCB Sports Live. Sweet Caroline indeed, as the song plays in the Bellarmine gym. They're up 23. Quinn Denker now your leading scorer with 16 points with that beautiful 3. And Denker brings the ball up, calling a play. Even up 23, this team wants to build so they can face off what is a talented WCAL schedule. Cruz misses the 3. Mazzola with the ball. Mazzola, nice quick crossover. Pulls it back out. Passes over to Kanan. Kanan passes over to Fu. Fu over to Kanan, who passes over to Mazzola. Screen over there by Trithall. Trithall back to Mazzola. Over to Fu. Over to Kanan. Misses. Denker with the rebound. Passes it over to Ruth. Ruth driving all the way in. Great defense by Kanan there. Saved the layup. And for Bellarmine, right now it's all about foundations. Building a strong foundation for the future. Because, like I said, they are going to be facing what is one of the toughest schedules any team has to face in California in the WCAL. As Denker passes over to Sasso. Sasso for the 3. Way long. And there's a slip on the court as Trith Hall falls down. Call was he was pushed. I think he slipped. Doesn't matter. Bellarmine's still up 23. These calls aren't making that much of a difference. Christie now with the ball. Christie over to Mazzola. Bellarmine still pressing. Cole all up in Mazzola's face, but Mazzola manages to beat it, but bad pass. Denker has a 1-on-3, decides to pull it back out. Smart thing to do. Mazzola pushes up on him. And Cruz gets fouled by Fu. Hits the official in the process. I think if the official gets hit, he almost always has to call a foul there, you know. Self-preservation, that's the name of the game. Nice pass, no-look pass by Cruz. Gets knocked out by Fu. Great defense there. And Bellarmine will do it again. 6:48 left to go in this game. Denker calling out of bounds plays. The ball, Sasso coming in. Sasso cuts in. Cruz now with it, guarded tightly by Fu, but Fu falls off him. Cruz pulls up, misses. Sasso, tip-in, doesn't go, and it's Strithall with the ball. Passes over to Mazzola. Mazzola dribbling up. Mazzola with the ball. Over to Christie. Christie over to just into the game. Deraps. Deraps loses it. Number 10, Cole Trosen checks in for Sasso. Sasso likely will be done for the rest of the game, seeing how this is a blowout. But you never know. Denker over to Cole. Cole near side, near the wing, over to Cruz. Cruz now. Denker far side. Cross-court pass. Ruth, nice move. Pass over to Cole, and he gets blocked by Christie. Came from behind. Cole didn't see him coming. Christie pushes the ball out over to Mazzola. Mazzola. Push shot 3. And he misses. Trith Hall tried to got the rebound. Couldn't get it. Bellarmine with the ball. Over to Trosen. Trosen dribbling it up. Trosen. Nice little floater. Doesn't go in. Good awareness by Cruz pushing the ball up. Mazzola. Hezi in and out. Doesn't get anything going. Passes it over to Deraps. Guarded by Denker. Mazzola coming back over to help. But this is swarming defense. Ruth has easily 4 or 5 inches. And they're going to call a foul on Constantine Cole. Apparently, he broke verticality. So, verticality is always a very, very tenuous subject, because the issue comes with verticality is that hand moves in just a little bit, you've lost verticality. Verticality is sometimes not valued, sometimes it is. I mean, Roy Hibbert practically made a living off of verticallying, because that has now become a word. Opponents. Cruz now with the ball. Cruz passes it over to Ruth. Ruth guarded by Deraps. Ruth manages to free off Deraps. Over to Cruz. Cruz wants the screen, doesn't get it. Cole wants the ball over to Troten. Cole really wants the ball. Cruz doesn't want to pass, gets knocked down by Fu. Fu helps him up. Great sportsmanship there. Troten with the 3. 5 minutes left to go. Bellarmine is up by 24. Mazzola dribbling it up, passing it over to Deraps, over to Honer, inside pass to Zan. And Cole altered that shot. That's the one thing you know he's good at. Constantine Cole is a defensive presence. Shades of Kendall Stubblefield for those of you who watched Bellarmine basketball last year. Beautiful pass by Cole. Ruth just wasn't ready. That was a look of beauty. I myself play in the post in large part because I have no handle and no jump shot. And I just love it when you see beautiful post passes like that. It's a sight to see. Deraps over to Honer, back over to Mazzola. Mazzola loses Ruth, pulls up for 3, misses, skying high for the rebound. Cole Troten wrestles the ball away. Over to Ruth. Ruth misses. Fu challenged that shot. Mazzola now with the ball. Mazzola trying to drive in on Denker, and they're going to call a foul on Quinn Denker. With the push, Kyle Lewis now comes in for Ridley Ruth. And I think it's clear to say I should be the one held responsible for Kyle Lewis's monster game, because, you know, no one likes to have their last name messed up. I know that as much as anyone. And I think he heard me and he decided to take matters into his own hands. Denker with the ball now at the logo. Pulling it up over to Cole. Cole dribbling around over to Denker. Denker driving in on Mazzola. Nice spin move. Quinn Denker. That's all he has to do when he's faced up against a player like that. Mazzola just has no size on him. Denk now has 18 points. In a game where most expected Kieran Cruz to take over, Quinn Denker has really solidified Bellarmine's place in the second half and has largely guaranteed their place in the DJ Frandsen final. That will be tomorrow on this very same YouTube channel. Please, we love it when you listen, and we would love for you to come by and see what will most likely be Bellarmine versus the winner of Leland and Menlo Atherton, the game coming up next. So after Bellarmine is over, don't wait. Don't go to something else because we have more basketball from the 14th annual DJ Frandsen tournament for you. Millen comes in again, as I've mentioned several times. He is a starting sophomore for this team. Passes over to Duraps. Duraps passed it to checking in Hunter Zoo, who misses a ball. Here's Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis over to Ruth. Ruth over to Elam. Can't get it. Honer with the ball. Passes over to Millen. Millen. The ball dribbling up. Dribbling up. Millen trying to create for his teammates over to Duraps. Duraps passes it over to Honer. Honer works in. Strong move to the cup. He has, while he doesn't have the height advantage from the eye test, he certainly has the strength advantage over Elam. Elam, almost Kevin Durant-like in his stature, very long and lanky. And Honer bullied him into the post. And he stripes this free throw. Grassman will check in for Lewis, who will probably be done. And what a game for Kyle Lewis. Stats don't tell the whole story. He was disruptive everywhere. Also checking into the game, Jackson Williams. Coach Schneider going to his bench with this game likely wrapped up. And one thing that is a stark difference from last year, free throws made. From my recollection, I believe both teams altogether have only missed like 3 free throws, which is a phenomenal sight to see. Grassman over to Williams. Dangerous pass. And Williams just gets erased by Honer. Tried to go up. Honer didn't even jump. Just stuck his hand out. Williams went right into it. Now Duraps with the ball. Back over to Millen. Millen working on Grassman. And beautiful defense by Grassman. Pushing the ball up. Grassman over to Ryan Troutson. Ryan misses the 3. Hustles back in. Can't get the rebound. Duraps working on a 1-on-4. Loses the ball. Elam on the ground. And Honer bullies his way into the paint. And you know, this is the one advantage he probably has with Constantine Cole not in the game. For all the size Bellarmine has, Constantine Cole is probably their only player who really has considerable bulk and strength. Because, you know, it could be easily argued that, taking NBA example, Draymond Green is stronger than Kevin Durant. And he has more size, he has more girth, he is more able to fight against the big guys. And just as I had said, free throws have been incredible. Adam Honer misses his free throw. 64-42, Bellarmine up. They lose the ball. 2:30 left to go. Multiple players will be checking in for the Bells. Deep bench reserves coming in now. And what is cordially known as garbage time. Millen over to Honer. Honer is feasting right now. Misses. And Storm got mauled, no call. Grassman pulling the ball up. You would like to see Grassman get an opportunity. Ryan Troutson way short on that. And nothing but air. 2 minutes left to go. Elam checks out for the sophomore Kitchen and Kiachin, my apologies. And Jackson Dupree checks in for Ryan Troutson. No. Oh, my bad. It is actually Nelson. That's number 30, not number 20. And they call a traveling violation again. 1:43 left to go in this game. Ajake will bring the ball from the side out. And you know, one thing I think the Bells would really love is if everyone who came onto the court got a point. Because as Coach Duncan told me, this is about a team effort with the entire team putting in work. And you know, you would love that if everyone got rewarded. Beautiful pass by Grassman there. Gets the ball over to Nelson. Bellarmine up 66-42. Great attack by Honer there after warding off the defensive Grassman, and he will go to the free throw line. Again, no specification on what the call was, assuming there was an issue with verticality again. You know, that's something the sophomore will just have to learn. Keeping your hands up, very important. At his height, keeping his hands up can do a lot more damage than most people would think. We saw itself by Honer. He didn't even jump and he managed to block a shot. Honer, on that same regard, makes both his free throws. Grassman over to Ajike. Ajike over to Grassman. Grassman dribbling up, dribbling around. Grassman now looking over to Ajike. Ajike way long on that three, and Lambie with the board. Lambie pushing it up. Less than a minute to go now in what is the semifinal round of this DJ Frandsen tournament. It's also the initial game, but let's not talk about that. Elimination game. Honer strong on that three. Nelson with the board over to Grassman. Grassman pulls it up. Grassman doing exactly what a point guard should do. Trying to get his teammates involved. Grassman looking around. Looks like he's carrying the ball, but no one calls that anyway, so not really important. Grassman pulls up for three. In and out, and that's disappointing. Looking in halftime shoot-around and pregame shoot-around, his stroke has looked silky smooth. Is Milne over to Lambie. Lambie driving in, and look at that. Beautiful defense by Kitchian. Kept his hands up, just what we said, and altered that shot. Of course, now he got called on the foul, reached in, put his hand into the cookie jar, and I guess you would say put his hand in on the iron and got burned. And Storm will go for a 1-and-1. Hits the first one. Free throwing has been incredible in this game. One of the best things I've seen for both teams so far. And for the Bells, as Ajike gets the board over to Grassman, he'll hold the ball, dribble it up, dribble it, and that will do it. Your final score, 66-45. Don't forget to go onto our channel and look at our next game, Menlo Atherton versus Leland at the DJ Frandsen tournament. Our final score is 66-45. Leading scorers, Bellarmine has Quinn Denker with 18, Kieran Cruz with 13, Kyle Lewis had 7 with a number of steals, Cole Trodson 9, Cole 5, Josiah Ajike with 6, it seems. Meanwhile, for Granite Bay, Adam Honer with 17, Doug Christie with 12. You know, for Bellarmine, a great foundation, lots to work on, lots to learn about their defense especially, and we'll see how it works in the future. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. You've been listening to Bellarmine Varsity Basketball, presented to you by BCP Sports, live on YouTube. Remember to stick around on our channel. Look at the next game, Menlo Atherton versus Leland. Thank you so much.